What's up, everybody? I hope y'all had a blessed week. Thank y'all for tuning in. You're now tuning in to my podcast. I'm SF Johnny, Seriously Focused Johnny. You are tuned in to Difficult People Chronicles. To no surprise, some people will intentionally try to hate you, try to destroy your character, and then strangely try to be you. So they will try to destroy the real McCoy to be the McCoy. That in itself never works out well. In Genesis chapter 27, Rebekah encouraged Jacob to imitate Esau, aiming to creatively secure the blessings intended for his brother from their blind father, Isaac. While this plan involves a clever reuse, it highlights the lengths to which situations, items, blessings can motivate people to act outside of God's will. And that's something for y'all to think about. So, today's episode is called The Message When They Mock You. I was, I don't know why, but I was sitting at the edge of my bed and the Holy Spirit came to me. And the question was, why do they do that? And at the time, I wasn't really thinking about anything that I could think of. But that was the question, why do they do that? And the situation that came to me was people who try to dress like you. So, what came to me was that the reason why that happens is because they want to think like you. They may not like you for who this is for. They may not like you, but it has to do with the decisions you make, how you navigate through the waters, how you handle the storm. And they want to be able to operate in that manner. So that's what came to me. And in order to do this, they feel that if they try to imitate you, mock you, say what you say, then they can think like you. Something that came to me this morning when I was in my Bible is that a person's spirit goes crazy when their ID is tampered with. Their ID. Meaning that the ID that God gives us is unique. And when it's tampered with, that person's spirit could go crazy. And it could be tampered with by a person bewitching them or they doing it to themselves. Where they're so into the world that they don't want to walk over to God and let God work on them. They don't want to be their authentic self. Yeah. So back to what I was saying. Basically, this person is trying to emulate somebody. And they don't want to work on it. They don't want to work on themselves. They feel it's easier just to study a person, observe their behavior, how they talk, and all this other stuff, which is crazy. So I was having a conversation with somebody, I would say the next day, and they was telling me a situation that they was going through. And then I said, there it is. And basically I said to the person, that person wants to be you. They have no idea how hard it is to be that particular person. Like, this person has accolades, they went to school, they got all of these degrees, certifications, they did the work, the grind, they read a lot of books. And then I'm not saying that this person cannot do what they do, right? But they don't want to do the walk. That's the part right there. Has nothing to do with the degrees and the certifications. They don't want to do the walk that this person did. And there's an age difference, but this person wants to think like them. They don't want to do the walk. And I find that there's a lot of people in this world that do that. So what these people look like, because I know somebody that's like that. They would try to cancel out whatever you say it a different way, and it's the same thing you said. They would tell you that what you have on is not cute, or they don't like it, and then the next week they have on something similar. Yeah, it's insane. Or they might even question your career moves, and you find them doing the same thing. And when I say question your career moves, meaning that they will they will put you down and say, "Oh, that's a stupid thing to do, and you shouldn't do that, and that makes no money." But they busy trying to do the same thing. hmm So in other words, they try to kill your dreams and then walk away with your dreams, basically. Well, for who this is for, this person is trying to think like you. And I feel like there's more people out there who's going through this situation. So I'm telling it. Person's trying to think like you. hmm You'll find sometimes, even in situations where there's couples, you have a person who is in a relationship that's not working. And then they see someone else in a relationship that's working. And all of a sudden, they just try to build their life to look like the other person's life instead of working on what they got going on behind closed doors. I've seen that before. Let me tell you something. The only thing that's going to get people peace is to be yourself. Just be yourself and just pray. Pray, because there's people out here trying to steal your ideas, your destiny, your path, everything. Go to God in prayer and be like, "Faithful Father, hide my ideas and my path from my enemies." Hide my ideas, my path, my decisions from my enemies. And when I say decisions, you may have made up your decision in your head. And the only one that knows that is you and God. But for some reason, this person in the wee hours of the night is trying to figure you out instead of minding their business. I said it. Instead of minding their business, they busy trying to figure you out. Their life is on fire and they busy trying to figure you out. Spouse is off the meat rack, but they busy trying to figure you out. Because they see that you have peace, and they trying to figure out why their life is like over the cliff. And that's what I had to explain to somebody. I said, "Let me tell you something." I said, "At the end of the day, you did a lot in your life. Like, you got degrees, you got certifications, you done did the work. And it's not about the paper. You did the work. Like, to get the paper, you had to go out there and grind before and after." That's why, you know, people say things like degrees and all of that stuff don't mean a lot, right? But you got to think about something like this too. What if God told you to go out there and get that degree? Because within that teaching, um, you're going to be taught something, or it's a stepping stone to get to the next level. So, in all rights, it's about that walk. And a person that envies you or is jealous of you, they don't want to do the walk, especially if they trying to mock you. They're not trying to do that work. Oh no. They trying to make things so much easier for themselves. And what they fail to realize is that when you doing your assignment, your walk is never going to be easy. But there's something that I always think about: when a person tries to knock another person out of the way and steal their ideas, their destiny, and all that other stuff. When they get to a point that they have to make a decision, make a move, will they be able to do that? And then the other part is, will they have peace when they know that they did somebody dirty? We see a lot of people that do evil and we think they live in their best life, but a lot of times they not. Because the one thing that they don't have, they may have the money, they may have the house, they may have the car, but they don't have that peace. They don't have peace. Peace is the fruit of the spirit. They don't have that. And when a person is studying another person, that's one of the things they look at. Like, how is it that this person is able to navigate through them waters, make the decisions they make, and still go home and sleep peaceful at night? God is in their life. God is in their life. So, for who this is for, go to God in prayer. Say, faithful Father, hide my ideas, decisions, and my paths from my enemy. In Jesus' name. One other thing I want to share with y'all is this. When I was younger, there was a woman who bought myself, herself, and then someone else a gift, right? And the gift was similar in nature, just different colors. And the way she shops, she would say, whatever I like, and this is what she would say to herself, whatever I like, I'm going to buy it as if it was for me to give to them. Because that's what she told me. And I didn't think nothing of it at the time. I was young. And she gave the gift to the other party. And the girl went off. And she was like, stop buying gifts for me that you would buy for yourself. And I didn't understand what the argument was about. Like, I was just like, I was at a cookout, and you could feel a tension in the air, but I was just like, it's just a gift. But I understand it now, because when it comes to spirituality, you kind of know when they trying to mock you. And what it looks like is they would play nice and be dirty and then buy you a gift. In other words, they would, they would play nice, like they for you, they support you, they like you, and then turn around, try to do some funny business scheme to rob you, or talk about you like a dog, and then turn around and buy you a pocketbook or a wallet, or show up at your house with flowers. Even when you say don't buy me no gifts, they'll still buy you a gift. Those are funny types of people. So when they have that kind of mindset and then they turn around and try to dress like you, act like you, walk like you got to question that. You got to question that. There's some people that you really don't have to question. Like, say for instance, you know someone who they like your style, and they always complimenting you, and the compliments is genuine, like they for people, you can feel the energy from them that's positive, and their heart, they're good hearted. Yeah, they different. I'm talking about them other folks that are phony. But with this person from the cookout, as time went on, I noticed with this particular person who went and bought gifts, I was just like, wow, why does this person's house look like mine? You ready for what I'm about to say? They never been to my house. The inside of their house looked like mine. And even though we hung out a lot, we lived far from each other. So I would have to really travel to be near them. But I noticed that the inside of their house was looking like mine. The layout. Certain things that I wrote down that I wanted when I bought a house was just certain things that was very eerie to me. And I said, this person lives far, far away. So how is it that their house looks like mine? And they got their house after me. And then I understood it very well. So when you find people that are strange in nature like that, you got to go to God in prayer for direction. Yep, for direction. And like the opposite sex is not exempt. Trust me. I've seen a man in my lifetime try to dress like me, which was the most craziest thing in the world. Crazy and scary. And I went to God in prayer. Because you never want to walk out your door with, let's say, a black outfit or a beige outfit and it's fitted. And then you see a guy that's dressing just like you. All of a sudden, we show up looking alike. What's going on here? And that's the way my personality is. It's like, I'll just come straight out and say it. Like, what are we doing? Like, why do you have on the same outfit almost like me 3 4 days in a row? What are we doing? And then they realize that I caught on to what they were doing. I'm not playing with people. Some people are soul snatchers. I said it. They soul snatchers. They be trying to just kill, steal, and destroy. And you got to be mindful. And it's scary if the person is the opposite sex and they call themselves a man. But yet they trying to dress like you. Certain things they do just is not masculine. And you're like, am I the only one that see this? Because everybody else acts clueless. You got to pay attention to that. So that's it for today. I want everybody to have a blessed week. Love me more, and I'll love you more later.